In the last video, we looked at the Show Me feature and how to use chart types appropriately. In this video, we'll walk through how to effectively implement user-facing filters on your dashboards. One of the most basic interactive features you can incorporate into a dashboard is the ability for a user to filter or slice the data. Filtering allows your user to see the dashboard with only the data they're interested in. For example, a specific region, category, or time frame. The simplest tool to allow this is a checkbox style list containing each relevant value. Let's start by opening Tableau, clicking Connect to Data, and choosing the Superstore dataset that shipped with Tableau. I'm going to click Microsoft Excel and navigate to whatever folder yours is in. Click Open. Let's import the Orders table. And now Tableau has loaded in all the data from that Excel worksheet. We'll make a quick viz here to illustrate quick filters. Drag Sales to the Rows shelf, and right-click drag Order Date to the Column shelf. This is a shortcut way of letting us choose the aggregation level before it's placed onto the chart. If we choose a continuous date type, it will give us a trend over time. If we choose a discrete date type, indicated by the blue icon, then it will group the data by those buckets. So we'd have 4 buckets, one for each quarter, instead of a trend of quarters over time. So let's go ahead and pick continuous quarter order date. Now let's drag region to color. You can create a quick filter easily by dragging the dimension to your filter shelf. Let's use product category. Just clicking and dragging into filters. And let's go ahead and check furniture and office supplies. And then click OK. Now we'll right click on the filter and click Show Quick Filter. You can see our selections are pre-populated and we can easily change them here. There are other types of filters that may be more appropriate based on your data, like a single select list, which is just radio buttons, or maybe a single value drop-down list. The multiple values list is what we just had. There's also sliders and multiple values drop-down, so the drop-down with the checkboxes. So now let's try a filter based on time. I'm going to hold Control and drag quarter of order date into filters, and then choose relative date next. If we hit OK without choosing anything, you can see there's no data already for today. Just right click and choose Show Quick Filter. Continuous date filters take on a new level of flexibility and complexity, without the ability to customize the interface appropriately for your users. I find this feature great for analytical dashboards that other analysts or I would use, but because it's so open-ended, it's best avoided, since it can be overwhelming and confusing to a less familiar end user when distributing to a broader audience. For example, the user could choose next 3 months, even though all we have is historical data, and would get no data returned. In these cases, I find a parameterized set of predefined date ranges that I know the users are interested in, like last 15 days, last 15 weeks, last 15 months. Then we can use calculated fields to define both the time period and the aggregation level for the user. We'll run through this interesting and very useful example in the next video when we cover parameters. Finally, the most engaging and informative type of filter is to use a viz as a filter. This can be any normal viz on your dashboard, or a special viz you create just to use as a filter. Let's use the same viz we were working on. Go ahead and get rid of the order date filter. And now we want to build a bar chart of category to use instead of a drop-down menu, since this list really doesn't enhance the user's comprehension of the context of the data. So let's create another sheet. We're going to make a bar chart showing sales by category. Now let's turn it into a bar. And we'll get rid of the labels, move them to the columns, and then we'll make this chart quite a bit shorter. Now if we make a dashboard by clicking the Create New Dashboard button, we drag Sheet 1 out, we drag Sheet 2 out as well, adjust the size a little bit, and then click this action arrow and choose Use as Filter. And we can use this chart to filter the rest of the charts on this dashboard. Now we can quickly get a high-level picture of the sales of each department before we even filter. Now we know how to use even the most basic interactive functionality of the dashboard, the filters, to enhance the user's comprehension of the information. In the next video, we'll learn how to give them even more control by using parameters. To summarize, we learned the importance of interactivity in its most simple form, the ability to filter or drill into data. Tableau empowers us to create quick filters using traditional selection methods like checkboxes and drop-down lists out of any dimension or measure in the filter shelf. We can also easily use any chart on our dashboard as a filter, creating more context for the user to understand what they're drilling into.